What's up? So today I'm gonna make a new video titled "Why I Dislike Rita." Season 4 Rita. We know all Rita Bennett, Rita Morgan, Rita Ackerman. Yes. She has 3 different names, but she wants to make the audience believe she only had 2. But Dexter discovered that she actually had 3 last names. Yeah, and she doesn't want anyone to know. So yeah, is Rita a liar? Is she an annoying piece of crap that we should all just, this is what this retrospective will feel like. We'll tackle Rita's uprising and her downfall, because Rita's downfall started at the beginning of season 4, and her uprising started so we meet Rita all the way in season 1, episode 1 of Dexter as Dexter's 16-month girlfriend. Although he says it, she was previously married to her ex-husband named Paul Bennett, and she has 2 kids named Astor and Cody, who Dexter actually likes. This first episode, gave us kind of a Rita that, Dr. Lily says about how her husband knocked her around, which makes her not want to makes her not want to do anything with him, and he likes it that way because he feels like if any girl gets too close to him, they'll discover who he is and break up with him. So this first episode, Rita, was really good. So then we get into the second episode where we get more of Rita's nice behavior. We get to more of her nice behavior. But for some reason at the end of the last episode, she went to sleep with Dexter. She got turned on, even though in other episodes she doesn't want to sleep with him. I don't get that. Like, in other episodes of season 1, she says how she's not ready to do it with him. But in the ending of the last episode, she was ready to do it with him until Cody called. I don't get that. I don't get how she was ready. I don't get how she wasn't ready. So yeah. But anyway, then in the third episode, we see we see Rita and her kids hanging out, and they're being annoyed by it's Halloween episode, and Rita's neighbor is basically keeping her dog locked under a fence, which is annoying her kids. So Dexter first tries to do something, he fails. Rita tries to do something, she fails. But then Rita succeeds by taking the dog and taking it to a nice family. But by that episode, she decides to dress up as Tomb Raider and then get turned on by Dexter again. Is this going to be the whole thing in this first season? Rita wanting to be with Dexter, not wanting to be with Dexter, then being turned on by Dexter again. I feel like this whole thing is kind of weird. Like, she first does it, then she doesn't like it, and now she likes it again. Like, I guess it's the first season and they didn't know what they wanted to do with her character, but her whole thing of how, Dexter, I'm not ready. But then immediately by the episode, she's like, let's do it. And then an episode later, she's like, Dexter, I'm not ready. And then by the end of this episode, she's like, yeah, Dexter, let's do it. It's just weird. So yeah. So then there's an episode where where one of her ex-husband's buddies come by and takes her car. So Dexter decides to help out, but she doesn't want it, which is understandable. Like, she wants to move on from her husband's antics, her ex-husband's antics. She wants to move on from her ex-husband's antics. So anyway, what happens is that she wants to move on from her ex-husband's antics. I'm probably gonna release this in 4 parts. The email will rise, the middle, and the end. So this will be the first part of this 4-part miniseries, the rise of Rita Bennett, Morgan, Ackerman, whatever her name is. So yeah, so, yeah. I know I should start at what Rita was born, but yeah, I'm doing it chronologically, like show order, not like we don't know Rita's like the whole backstory. Like all we know is that her mom was strict, and you know, and Rita didn't like it, so she forced, and her mom didn't approve of her relationship with Paul, which caused her and Paul were in love, and you know, and this friction with her mom caused her mom to not want to speak with Rita. That's all we know. That's all we know about Rita's mom. Doesn't even appear again after season 2. Was the actress not even available? She gets one more mention in season 3, but is never brought up or mentioned again after the fact. So this first season will be so in this video we'll be talking about the first season. Then in the next video we'll be talking about the second. Then in the next video after that we'll be talking about the third, and then the end with the 4th season. I think season 4 will already be the time of the downfall of Rita Morgan happened. But yeah, so what happens is that so yeah, so it's circle of friends. Wait, now Rita gets a call from her friend where where her husband's gone missing. So she decides to call Dexter for help. But then when a body washes up shore, they find out that it's Rita's friend and Lady's husband. And Dexter's like, I'll go in with her. But Rita's like, nah. Was that the first start? Well, doubtful, Rita. Because she literally passes. Dexter volunteers, but Rita shuts him down. I guess because this is her friend. But Dexter's trying to be a friend to her friend. But Rita shuts him down. I don't get it. Rita's trying to be So, if you want me to do many more Fall and Rise videos of other Dexter characters, please tell me, because because I would love to do more of these. So yeah. So yeah. She pushes Dexter aside. So then what happens is that so Rita gets a call from Paul, and he's like, hey, can I come to Aster's birthday party? But she's like, yeah, no, you can't. And if you do, I will call the cops on you. And then Aster says at her birthday party about how her wish came true that her dad's not there. But then in episode 7, Rita finds out that the new person gave her kids to Paul. For some reason, this dude, I'm surprised the school did not tell this guy, oh, hey, yeah, Rita picks up the kids. But he just gives them to Paul. So, yeah, so Rita's now back. So now Rita's ex-husband is back, and now he makes a new solid vow to be there for his kids. But Rita doesn't like it. So, yeah. So then episode 9, when Dexter's bio dad dies, Rita shows her anger. Paul shows his anger by knocking over her phone and saying how Dexter isn't her family. She says about how it's a family matter, but Paul says Dexter is not family. So she decides to go with it anyway, and goes and hangs out with Dexter. Deb's boyfriend Rudy, because Deb shows up. Yeah, Deb's the worst in episode 9. She literally says, instead of comforting Dexter, Deb literally just decides to say, oh yeah. And I guess it's whole thing of how she wants to believe that Harry must have had a reason to not tell them. So but Yeah, people find Deb annoying in episode 9 of the first season, and I agree. How she literally will not believe Dexter, literally must say that's a mistake, and and you know, and will say, oh yeah, you really believe in Dexter will literally find out the truth about Harry's lies, but Deb wouldn't. So anyway, what happens is that Paul tries to call, but she's like, hey, she's hanging out with Dexter. So when they get back, a drunken Paul comes to Rita's door and demands to see the kids, but she says they're sleeping, so he decides to rape her. So she decides to call him, get him into her room where he tries to beat and rape her, but she takes a baseball bat. So what does Paul do? He immediately tries to play the victim card and say that Rita randomly attacked him. So Rita's now, in danger of losing her kid. So she calls Dexter, who calls a lawyer. So, yeah, Rita's in trouble. So yeah. So they let Paul back in, They let Paul back in, obviously. But he's saying to Dexter how he won't let Rita or Dexter take what's his. So Dexter decides to show Paul some support by knocking him over the head, taking out the heroin, and Rita's obviously happy that her ex-husband back in jail. Because he violated the strike laws. But Rita doesn't realize that this was Dexter's doing. So yeah. So what happens is that Rita decides to let the kids visit Paul. So yeah. So after the whole thing, yeah. So what happens is that Paul decides to basically be like, "Oh yeah, Rita, do you know what happened?" And so what happens is, is that so Rita decides to go and fight, decides to defend Dexter because Paul decides to be like, oh yeah, because she decides to tell the kid what happened to Paul, but Rita's so because he's like, hey, this is not your fault, like a kid would. So, but Rita decides to find out, and Dexter's like, hey, are you really shielding yourself from the truth? You shouldn't be shielding themselves from the truth. But Rita's like, you're not a parent. You don't know what it's like. So they decide to let him visit Paul. Paul calls, basically being like, hey, can you find a shoe? And and she later finds it. And that's the end of season 1 Rita. This is the start of Rita's, mutation into season 2 Rita, where she would become more independent, more strong. So let's review that scene. Let's review that next time. But as for now, this is the end of the first half of the first season of Rita's character. We'll review the other half, and we'll review other Dexter characters like the history of Dexter Morgan, the history of Deb Morgan, Harry, any other characters in this type of format. Please tell me. Yeehaw! But yeah, that's it for me, and we'll see. That's it for me, and I'll see you next time we review the second half of this Rita quadrilogy: the rise and fall of Rita Morgan, Ackerman, Bennett. I don't know.